Hello and welcome to another show of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
And I'm Bill. Sorry for the delays. This time it was my turn to be sick. So Jason was sick for our last excuse. This time it was mine.
And we are on two cell phones today instead of the normal connection, so it might be a little bit off. I mean, on your end.
We hope.
Hopefully it'll still sound good and you can hear it and everything else, but yeah.
Let's start talking about that national championship game. Let me tell you my bet. So I bet on Alabama because I always believe in Saban.
Sure.
And so I bet $100, and I had to give, I think, 3. So needless to say, the first half I thought, I'm out of it. Then it came back, and I thought, well, I'm not going to win because if they win, it's going to be 23-20. And then the guy blows the kick for me, and then I get the touchdown, so I win $100.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was very nice. But I thought, I loved the story of the kid. I love the fact that Saban was comfortable enough to make that quarterback change.
Yeah, it was impressive.
And that was very impressive. It's one of the most impressive coaching things I've ever seen. Can you take a guy that's been your guy for 2+ years, right?
Yeah, only 2 losses in his entire career.
Yeah.
17-1 touchdown interception ratio.
Nope, but you know that he wasn't going to be able to get the job done passing-wise, and Saban knew it too, and I guess, that's what they did. It'd be interesting to see what he's going to do next year because he got them both back.
Well, I actually heard somebody on the radio was talking about him today, and they were basically saying how, I forget it. What is his name again? I don't want to, it's Jalen something?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. That his future was never going to be a quarterback in the NFL.
No way.
So maybe this is a good time for him to, spend a year at Alabama, transitioning to either, some sort of Christian McCaffrey, like, running back hybrid or, a wide receiver and start boosting his draft stock now as opposed to waiting till the combine. And I don't think him transferring to another school, sitting out a year.
No, I don't think that's a wise move.
Or going to a lower level competition. I think, you're in the SEC. I was
very impressed with his demeanor on the sideline.
It was very impressive.
I've never seen anything like it. He sold me. Some people that could have been an act. I was genuinely believing that that's how he felt.
Yeah.
And I also came away thinking that really was the happiest Saban's ever been.
Well, he tied Bear Bryant.
And I don't think that's important. For some reason, though, I think winning that game was really important to him.
Huh.
And his facial expressions were much different than last year. He looked like he was really enjoying the moment. Last year I thought, or I'm sorry, the year before when he won, I thought, okay, 24 hours, he's ready to go back to work. But this, I thought he was going to take a little time and savor this. I think he really enjoyed this. And it tested him. It tested him as a coach, and I think that's why he enjoyed it more. Because he had a coach. He just couldn't put his best guys out there and win that game. He had actually coached that game. And I think he had a lot of satisfaction out of coaching that game. I really did.
Well, in other news, the UCF has put up a billboard asking Alabama for a home-and-home next year. Or a home-and-home series moving forward.
I love what UCF is doing. Love it. Danny White, the AD, I think has been amazing. I think that's been a great story. I think they've maximized this. They get a lot of PR out of it. I think they've gotten a lot of publicity. You saw where they finished in the voting, right?
I thought that was bullshit.
Where would you vote them?
I would have voted them 1. But at the very least, they should have been top 3. I mean,
I would have voted them 5.
Well, they already beat the team that was in they already beat the team ahead of them.
Yeah,
and they went undefeated. So how do you vote them lower than them? Like,
I'd have voted them 5.
I don't know.
That way you covered your ass with the 4 you picked to be in the playoff, and they were 5.
I suppose.
I'm just hoping, though, that, and I don't, again, it's just like we talked about a little bit last time on the show. It's just not in the people that make the decisions' best interest to let them in. Because it's nothing for them. It's everything for UCF or USF or whatever it is, gets everything and doesn't lose. It's all for them. And the other guys don't get anything except less money. So.
And if you're Alabama and Clemson, there's no reason to schedule a home and home. Because this team could, you already have to play your SEC schedule. So your non-SEC games, you play a team like UCF, you have all to lose, nothing to gain. So,
but you know what? There's something to be said for playing a game on a neutral field, matching those teams up.
yeah.
So you go play it in Jerry's World, or you play it in Atlanta, you play it somewhere. You should play it because a lot of people tune in. There'll be a lot of people interested, and we'll see.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'd be interested.
I'd like to see that happen. I don't think there'll be a home and home, but I think you could make the sales point do it on a neutral field. I'm sure that the Jerry's World would be happy to host.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
And I think UCF, I think if you capitalize on it soon, their fans would travel to that too.
Yeah. Well, I want to see what, I'm kind of curious. I saw that UCF's backup quarterback transferred to Nebraska. He's from Nebraska.
Yeah.
So he's going back. And I wonder if Nebraska's going to come back, start making their comeback early. I think Frost could do a great job there. I'm excited for what he's going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Make the Big Ten interesting.
I think so. I mean, now he's got experience recruiting in Florida too, which is, pretty big.
All right, let's talk about ball before I go insane.
Which ball? The Lithuanian ball is playing over there, or the ball over here being an idiot?
Loudmouth bar.
Loudmouth ball. Badmouth and Willie Walton?
I just, Jason, I'm not as upset of him saying it. I'm just so upset that ESPN, you've seen a lot written about it. ESPN laid off all these people, yet they send a crew to Lithuania to cover the Ball family.
Yeah.
I mean, and so part of it's ESPN's fault, and part of it is our stupid attraction to celebrity, no matter how stupid it is. Because this guy is not good for sport, and he's not making sports noise. I mean, he's making noise. He's a Kardashian.
And like I said, I was a little bit, I like, the thought process behind starting his own shoe company, despite the fact that he went too high with his prices. And I like sort of the way he was trying to take, put the money and the power back in the hands of the talent and less on the hands of
and if he would have done it the right way, that would have been a great thing. That would have been a tremendous story.
It would be. But I've also sort of found, like, he to me is a lot like a guy we'll talk about later in the podcast in Gruden, and a guy I've never been a fan of, a Dickie V, where they just talk and talk and talk, but they never actually say anything. Like, and when they do say anything, it's the same catchphrases over and over and over again, which I know apparently people eat up, but I don't know why he's still interesting. I mean, I could say the same thing about the Kardashians, but, like, I don't think the ball, I mean, he hasn't said an interesting word in, like year and a half. He keeps saying the same things over and over again, but people keep listening.
But they're so outrageous, though. They're so outrageous. And they're so self-serving.
I know, but
like Dickie V, I see your point on Dickie V a lot. Dickie V has served his purpose, and it's just Dickie V's white noise to me on TV. I mean, I respect him. He's a great human being. I love what he's meant to the game of basketball, but right now he's white noise to me. I don't care what Dickie V has to say. I watch the game and I turn the sound down, and it's a shame. But he's done a lot for things. I just think he's past his prime.
But I think for me, Ball's been the same way for about a year now. Like it's just same. It's Skip Bayless like. It's just just trying to say something more outrageous than the last time. And at what point is it like, okay, well, this is all he's gonna do? Like, say something interesting, say something unique. Use your platform for something I want to hear. I don't know. And if I'm Magic Johnson and I'm the Lakers and Luke Walton is my guy, why am I not saying something? Because it almost feels like from their end, like Ball is going to be able to bully his way and talk his way into being the coach of the team at some point. And I just...
Now that would be a soap opera. That would be Hard Knocks on steroids.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're Laker, if you're, the Bus family, if you're Magic Johnson, who's about as big a name in sports as there is, like, why are you not, why are you not at least defending your coach? Unless
I don't know. Maybe they want. Maybe they're not going to comment on him because it just stirs the pot even more. So they're going to let it go. But I really like what Rick Carlisle and the other coaches said.
Which was?
That, hey, you shouldn't be covering this shit.
No.
It's not sports news. It's just a guy mouthing off some parent talking about it. Their son's coach. You can find the same thing in high school or Little League or whatever you want to do. It's a mess.
But I suppose if people weren't tuning in, then they wouldn't be covering it, so...
That's the problem, Jace. They are tuning in. And so it's just feeding the fantasy. It's feeding the fire. So I'm not going to be surprised if all of a sudden on ESPN2 at 3:00 in the morning we've got a Lithuanian basketball game on with the ball team on it.
Oh, that was already on Facebook Live. They had 120,000 viewers per minute. Or any given moment, they had 120,000 viewers. I watched some highlights of that game. Did you see any of it? It was like watching a good pickup basketball game as far as the talent level goes. Like, I think, most people that are decent in basketball could have, in their, if they were in their, late teens to early 20s, could have stepped right out on that court and competed, including with the people. And I know, like, the middle ball is terrible at basketball. He's got no shot of being a pro ever, I don't think.
No, that's what everybody said. He was not going to be draftable, and they debated whether or not he'd be signed as a free agent.
Now the young ball, who's only 16, he looks like he has the gift that his brother has, where it looks like he's got that vision. But
he's like a rail. He's a twig.
Yeah, but he's 16 years old.
Yeah. When you're 16 years old, you shouldn't be playing pro basketball in Lithuania.
No, you should be in high school.
But life.
Yeah. That's not what Daddy Ball wants for those kids, so that's what the kids are going to get. But like I said, I mean, I don't know, it didn't look like great competition, but it got, they showed it on Facebook.
Somebody covered it.
And over 100,000 people watched the entire game at any given moment. Now, that could have been, there's
tuning in and tuning out, yeah.
Or somebody checked it out for a few minutes, went away, and somebody, it's back and forth, so it wasn't, But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't great competition, and, neither of them looked particularly good, I wouldn't say. But like I said, you saw flashes of the younger ball with, like, his feel for where people are and getting the basket and, ball in a place where they can do something with it.
Okay, Jason, I'm going to propose something.
Okay.
Since I've been calling out the media for covering them, I propose a 30-day moratorium on us talking about it.
All right. So no more Ball family moments. Because it's like we are hypocrites, obviously, because we're
complaining about it, but we shouldn't even draw attention to that. So no more Ball minute, no more Ball for 30 days.
Deal.
All right. Let's talk about the last week NFL. Any surprises for you?
I still can't believe the Chiefs lost, especially after the way that game started out. I thought Tennessee was a really bad football team all year.
They're not good, but you can't play not to lose.
No, and they were up.
Anytime a team plays not to lose, that's what happens.
Yeah, and I know you lost Kelsey, but I mean, every team loses a great player. That's just every team. Steelers play without Bell and Brown and different guys throughout the year. The Patriots play without Gronk from time to time. I mean, I don't know, and it just, I don't know. The Falcons looked really, really good. The defense looked fast. They looked like they had a lot of playmakers.
I'm revising my Super Bowl pick.
You are?
Yes.
Are you putting the Falcons in?
No, I'm putting the Saints in.
Oh. So you're saying the Saints are going to go into Minnesota and take out the Vikings?
That's what I'm saying. See, they're still inside. They're still playing a dome. They're fine.
It's true. I can't argue with that. They still are playing in a dome. I just feel like I think Minnesota, and I've been guilty of this all season, and I know I've even said it on this podcast, like, I haven't had a lot of respect for the Minnesota Vikings all year. But I've grown to at this point. I think they're still my Super Bowl pick in the NFC.
Okay.
I think they play the Falcons.
I'm going to go Saints. I've been very impressed with the way the Saints are playing.
Okay. Did anything stand out for you other than the fact that the Patriots now get to play the Titans?
I wouldn't have been surprised to get to play Buffalo. Like I said, the devil makes the schedule.
It's lining up real well. Because, again, you had all that stupid controversy, but that only seems to fuel them. And
if the Steelers can't beat Jacksonville, the Steelers don't belong.
No. And what did you think about all the Brady, Belichick, Robert Kraft, Jimmy Garoppolo drama that was reported?
Part of me can see it. Part of me can see that he wasn't feeling appreciated. And he went to Kraft, and Kraft told Belichick to make a trade. I can buy into that conspiracy theory.
Because it seems like...
But on the other hand, maybe there's no conspiracy theory at all because they were going to lose him. He wasn't going to resign.
No, they could have. I mean, I know it would have been a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, he was available to be franchised.
Yeah, they weren't going to do that.
No.
Because they didn't pay him more than Brady then if they franchised him.
But it sounds like there were other offers on the table during the draft, and Belichick didn't want to take those that were considerably better offers.
No, they didn't want him in the AFC.
No. And
I don't think they wanted him on the East Coast either. They wanted him as far away as possible.
And as far as the Brady, Jimmy G thing, like, you read all the stories, and apparently Montana was just a complete asshole to Steve Young the entire time. Favre famously was a jerk to Rodgers.
Yep.
You obviously don't want to help the guy that's coming to take your job.
No, especially in an ego role like a quarterback.
Yeah. And I don't think Brady felt threatened by any of the guys up until Jimmy G.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't think the Ryan Malletts and any of the other guys they selected in the second or third round to be his backup. I think
Who's
they've
the
always...
backup now? Bobby Hoyer?
Yeah, Bobby Hoyer.
There you go.
Yeah, who was his backup a long time ago, too. And as far as, like, some of the things like, is this the end of the dynasty? And it's like, well, you have a 40-year-old quarterback, an 80-year-old owner, and a 70-year-old coach. So, and they already won 5 Super Bowls and have been to 7. So it probably is close to the end. And either way, they had an amazing run. So this has nothing to do with it, I don't think,
No question. No question.
And I mean, Belichick is I'm sure there would be thoughts that, no matter what happened to the Patriots this year, like, I mean, people have said, and granted they beat the Steelers already, and they always beat the Steelers, so I don't want to, but there's been a general consensus from scouts and coaches around the league that Brady does look like he is not quite the Brady of old. And, that even him with his bizarre no tomatoes, drinking his body weight in water every day diet, he still cannot defeat Father Time.
No, nobody can.
And then at the end of this year, there would have been, if he, there would have had to have been a serious consideration to just moving on with Jimmy G and letting Brady ride off into the sunset is, I think, what the Patriots would like to happen. But he wants to play till he's 50, so probably not going to happen.
The interesting thing to me is if Gruden's worth $10 million, what would Belichick be worth on the open market? 20?
I can't even imagine. Like I said, I mean, I don't know what is Gruden just a name? Is that what they wanted?
Well, you saw the Herm Edwards hired too. I mean, I've heard all the stories about Gruden, how he still has never really gotten away from it. He still works till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, preparing and watching film and everything. I don't know. Maybe he wants another challenge. Maybe he wants to try and see if he can do it.
Do you think? I mean, was that the only way he was coming out of the booth for $100 million and a 10-year guarantee? Like,
in a new team in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's making substantially more than all the. Like you said, what is Belichick?
He was probably making $6 or $7 million a year at ESPN though.
Yeah, that's true.
But Belichick, if you told me Gruden got 10, what would you give Belichick? I'd start at 15.
I don't think I think that's it because I mean, Gruden's a tough one because he was the victim of the Tuck rule. That was his team that he was coaching.
Yeah.
Because I know when he won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay against those same Oakland Raiders the very next year, a lot of people have always they've said that was sort of Dungy's Super Bowl, that he just sort of came in and yeah. And people point out that his last 6 years as a coach, he was sub 500, and I've never found him to be that engaging on television. Like he's obviously he looks like an adult Chucky doll.
Yeah.
And he smiles and he's got some catchphrases. But even when I watch his Quarterback Club, like take Tony Romo for instance. When Tony Romo announces a game, I feel like there's some real analysis being done.
Tony Romo has been I'm surprised, and he's awesome. He's very good.
He's very good. But I also feel like I'm learning something. When I watch Gruden's QB camp, I feel like he's just sort of smiling and making weird jokes.
With Tony Romo, Jason, he puts himself out there.
Yeah.
He takes a chance. He says, this is going to happen, and if it doesn't happen on that play, it usually happens 2 or 3 plays later, but he calls it. And I love the fact he puts himself out there.
And like I said, maybe Gruden was just doing what, people said, because I heard this as well. And again, I wish I could give credit to the person I heard it from, but I don't remember who it was exactly. But that Steve Kerr's last year and a half of being an NBA analysis, he stopped saying negative things about everybody because he knew he was going back to coaching and he didn't want to,
Yeah, that's wise.
So maybe that's, maybe when I've been.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah.
My most recent, a notice of Gruden has just been that he's just sort of He's not saying anything because he knew he was going back to coaching and he didn't want to, you know, didn't know where he was going to coach or anything else. So who knows? But
it'll be an interesting story.
It will be. It will indeed. So this weekend, we have Steelers Jaguars. We're obviously picking the Steelers.
Yep.
Patriots Titans. I mean, I don't think you can make that line high enough, or at least as far as like what percent. I mean, I can't even come up with a percentage. I don't even think I'd give the Titans a 1% chance of winning that game. I can't see any scenario where they win that game.
I don't want to talk about it.
I just,
Then I get the Saints, and I got the Falcons.
I love the way the Falcons played, and they looked like I said, their defense looked fast and furious and all that good stuff. But I mean,
the Eagles are a totally new team without Carson Wentz.
They are, but their defense is still outstanding.
It still is, but it's not the same team emotionally.
No,
it's not the same team confidence-wise.
And I did hear that the weather is going to be like high 50s, which,
helps Atlanta.
Which helps Atlanta. Which means if, Atlanta does win, we're having, two dome teams playing in a dome in the final, no matter what.
So if the Saints and Falcons win, they play in New Orleans, right?
Correct. And otherwise they would play in Minnesota. So Atlanta's only got one outdoor game and everybody else is staying in a dome.
So the Saints could stay in a dome the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm. The Saints in Minnesota are never leaving a dome for the entire playoffs.
No. Yeah.
Although I would say that, the Saints do seem to be, with Kamara and some of those guys, they're a little bit, I don't know how much Minnesota's running, they don't seem like they're as much of like a quick dome team. I think they translate as well outside as they do inside, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Although technically, I don't know if they would.
New Orleans right now.
Although I don't
really like the way they're playing.
Minnesota does have an opener. You can't open that dome though, right? In Minnesota?
I don't believe so.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I thought they had a retractable roof.
Well, if they do, they're not open it this week.
No, probably not. Because I just didn't know if that would give them any. Probably wouldn't give them an advantage.
No.
So, yeah. All right. So I guess we're pretty. This is going to be a shorter episode this week since we're going to have another one on Sunday. We just wanted to check in with everybody, catch up on a few things.
Come on Sunday, and I'll come back with my food moment on Sunday night.
Yes, I don't have a food moment for anybody. I did watch a few more movies, but I think I already talked about Lady Bird, didn't I?
No.
Oh, I absolutely love Lady Bird. It was definitely one of my top 3 movies of the year. It's a beautiful story. It's well acted. I'm neither a mother nor a daughter, and it's definitely a mother-daughter story.
Mm-hmm.
But I still found it very moving and engaging. It's only 97 minutes long, so it really feels tight. And movies have gotten very bloated lately, so it feels like it leaves you kind of wanting more, which is a very rare thing to have in film these days.
Who plays Lady Bird?
She has a very Irish name. Her last name is Ronan, and her first name begins with an S. It's like Sir Ronan or something.
Okay.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. Laurie Metcalf is fantastic. The entire cast is wonderful.
Okay.
It's a very short, very beautiful movie. I still have Get Out as my movie, but this would definitely be a close second.
Get Out's going to be hard to beat.
Although they said that it didn't do anything at the Golden Globes, and they didn't even really show him on TV. Jordan Peele. Apparently, some people are upset about what they were when they were placed in the musical comedy section. Mm-hmm. And then there's a rumor that the people at the Golden Globes did not like his Twitter joke, where he said, "No, it's a documentary," and people have also pointed out that the voting, while they are doing their best to make it more diverse, and it still is a bunch of old white men. And
you know what though, I can't see it. I didn't laugh. I was moved. I was affected by it, but I didn't laugh. I would never call it comedy.
No,
I would never call it dark comedy.
I thought there were some funny moments in the beginning. For the first half hour of the film, Lil Ray Howard from the Carmichael Show, the security guard, was quite funny at times.
Yeah.
And there were a few moments with the parents, the first meet the parents things and the Obama comments and some of that stuff, like the awkwardness.
But it's not what you take away from the movie. You don't take away.
No. But I mean,
you laughed.
Right.
I mean, I kind of smiled. I might have chuckled. I don't think I laughed.
No, I wouldn't laugh either.
I was moved. It was a powerful movie.
And there was obviously no music, but I also thought it was well shot, well acted. Like I said, Lady Bird is wonderful as well. And the one that I haven't seen, and apparently I'm not going to get a screener of, that people seem to love is The Phantom Thread, the Daniel Day-Lewis film, the Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, The Phantom Thread. I saw the preview set. It looked interesting.
It looks very interesting.
Anything he does is pretty phenomenal.
I guess they're saying that film and The Post,
and I want to see The Post,
are both coming out so late in the cycle that they're not getting the chance to get that momentum going.
Yeah.
And because they're releasing sporadic, like The Phantom Thread, like unless you lived in New York or LA, you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, and you won't be able to watch it until January 19th.
Yeah.
And The Post is also screened in a few select cities, which is odd because The Post is, Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like that seems
they were on the talk shows this week too.
Yeah, I don't know why you just don't open that one nationwide. Like I don't know why
I don't know either. I'm going to go see it next. I'm in LA next week. I'm going to go see it next week for sure.
Yeah, because that opens on the 12th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in there.
It is late.
But I would highly recommend Lady Bird to everybody.
Sunday night, back on our regular time.
Yes. Oh, and one more quick shout out to something. TBS, which has done so much better with its TV shows as of late. There's a show called Search Party that just finished up its second season, and it's a really fun watch. I don't want to say too much about it because I feel like the description I could give would probably turn some people off. But
comedy or drama?
It's a dramedy. It's a half-hour show. It's a 22-minute show.
Okay.
But it's got a lot of comedic elements. A lot fewer comedic elements in the second season. It gets much more dramatic, but it builds to that and it earns the drama moment. So.
Okay.
But it's a very good show. So.
And My Alienist comes on in 2 weeks.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So until next week, or not even next week, until the end.
It's a limited episode series, and we're pretty fond of those right now.
We love those. Yes. It's nice to know there's going to be an end. All right, so until Sunday.
Yes.
This should be up no later than Thursday morning, depending on the internet. So, sorry for the delay. We're going to stay on a regular schedule from this point on, and please subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff.
Signing off.